Assemblyman Danielson received his associate in applied science in marketing art and design from Middlesex County College and his Bachelor of Arts in Visual Arts from Rutgers University. He served in the United States Army Reserve 78th Division TNG for almost 10 years. He was in Army for 10 years. Assemblyman Danielson is the founder and owner of Network Blade LLC, a computer consulting service. He has been a volunteer firefighter since 1992. From 2000 to 2006, he was a member of Franklin Township Fire District 1 Board of Fire Commissioners. During his tenure, he has incited in creating an interlocal agreement between the township and 4 fire districts that provided the fighters during the day. This agreement saved jobs and doubled the level of fire responses to the taxpayers at low cost. The agreement saved low cost. In addition, he has served in many volunteer positions within the township of Franklin, including the planning board for 14 years. Assemblyman Danielson is involved in fundraising for childhood cancer research via St. Bardic Foundation, Wounded Warrior, and the Live Strong Foundations. Assemblyman Danielson is the youngest of 9 children and was raised by a single parent. He now lives with his wife Christine and their 3 children, all of whom have attended the Franklin Township Public Schools. As a lifelong resident of Franklin Township, Joseph Danielson served as Franklin Township Democratic Chairman for 6 years and Treasurer for 2 years. During those 8 years, he successfully maintained 8 council seats throughout numerous elections and was instrumental in growing the committees to record levels. During his tenure, he has been a public fundraiser throughout Somerset County for Democratic candidates. For 14 years, he served on the Franklin Township Planning Board and served as its vice chair for several of those years in that role. He consistently supported economic development and helped attract businesses to the Franklin Township with maintaining the local character of historic Franklin Township. He focused on public safety and improved the level of safety and response for local volunteers. Assemblyman Danielson represents the 17th Legislative District, which includes the Middlesex County municipalities of New Brunswick, North Brunswick, Piscataway, and the Somerset County municipalities of Franklin Township and South Bound Brook. He has served as Deputy Whip since 2020 for the 221st legislative session. He has been appointed as Chair of the Assembly Public Safety and Preparedness Committee, Vice Chair of Assembly Science, Innovation and Technology Committee, and has been appointed as a regular member of the Assembly Labor Committee. And he has helped us a lot in building this building. He got us a lot of money from the state. We should thank him for that. Thank you, Joe.
Okay. Hi, good evening. Thank you all for coming. I just want to introduce to you Joe Grillo, the New Jersey Board of Public Utilities, the NJBPU President, Christine Sadovi has announced an appointment of Giuseppe Joe Grillo as Ombudsman for the State Regulatory Agency. The Ombudsman person is an essential member of the NJBPU team in helping us build bridges and connect with municipalities, businesses, stakeholders, and rate ratepayers across New Jersey. Said President Gul Sadovi, Joe's leadership and experience in municipality government, engagement, and advocacy is an important asset as we continue to serve New Jersey rate taxpayers. Grillo is a seasoned civic and business leader with an extensive experience in corporate, nonprofit, and political sector. He also brings a wealth of development, community, and engagement and relationship building experience to his new role as ombudsman. Prior to joining the NJBPU, Grillo served as business development manager at the American Water and Development Director of Sustainable Jersey. Grillo has also worked with New Jersey Audubon. The Ombudsman assists local government and businesses in assessing information concerning state energy costs and the potential benefit of switching to utilizing third-party energy suppliers. Ombudsman's person also provides details of state energy programs, subsidies, grants to reduce energy costs and to promote energy efficiencies. I am honored to join the NJBPU team, said Grillo. I look forward to building upon our mission by foregoing and strengthening critical links between ratepayers, local governments, and New Jersey businesses, and the NJBPU. Grillo earned his bachelor's degree in political science from Rider University and his master's degree in global affairs from Rutgers, Newark. So I would like to really introduce both of them this evening and look forward to your presentation.
Thank you. Good evening. First of all, I want to shout out and thank the mayor and the two wonderful council people here tonight for hosting this event. I am Assemblyman Joe Danielson. I represent North Brunswick in the 17th Legislative District, along with Franklin, New Brunswick, Piscataway, and Southbound Brook. And it's been an honor to serve District 17. Tonight's purpose is to discuss the rise in costs in our utility bills and the reasons behind it, and equally important, the programs and resources we're bringing to North Brunswick here tonight for residents to utilize to lessen the burden on them. As I am sure you're aware, we have since the start of the summer have experienced a utility increase by a minimum of 20%. This is both unacceptable and shows a complete system failure when it comes to keeping utilities affordable in New Jersey. We have been told that the reason for these increases are based upon two factors. One, the increase in electricity demand through the tri-state area due to data centers, and in particular, artificial intelligence data centers. And number two, the Consortium of Energy Suppliers, which is called PJM, that is made up of 13 states, including the District of Columbia. They've placed profits before the people and has not done enough to expand their operation to reflect the higher demands on the electricity and climate changes. Now, as your Assemblyman, I, along with my colleagues, including my running mate, Assemblyman Kevin Egan and Senator Bob Smith, we share your outrage and are outraged ourselves. And we are fighting this unacceptable act of greed by demanding more transparency on the process that led to this and seeking solutions to lessen the burden on the citizens like you and I. There were tough questions asked of us in the past, and we made it clear that the legislature needed to act decisively. For my part, I introduced Bill A5564, which addresses the issue of data centers head-on by requiring them to subsist entirely on clean, renewable energy, and I'll explain why a little later. This would lessen the burden on our power grid. Unfortunately, the Trump administration and the Republican majorities in Congress are beholden to the corporate money from Texas, Arizona, and Oklahoma, where the oil lobby reigns supreme and opposes efforts to promote clean energy because they prioritize the profits over the working families. And I'll explain exactly the details of what I mean by that in a minute. While my colleagues and I in Trenton seek legislative solutions, which will always be very difficult, in the meantime, tonight we are bringing programs and resources to help manage these increased costs and alternative solutions with the vendors outside. I want everyone to know I didn't just come here with my staff, I came here with vendors outside and departments from the state of New Jersey that have solutions and programs. Now, once you've heard from all the presenters here tonight, you can ask any questions on the topic, which we'll do our best to answer. The key is to understanding that the overall problem here is the federal government, with the greed of PJM, which prioritizes dirty power plants over clean energy, while the federal government, which is supposed to hold them accountable, turns a blind eye to them. So PJM is, like I said, it's a consortium of power-producing companies, the transmitting lines, and the local distributors. They are controlled by PJM. PJM only answers to the Federal Energy Regulatory Commission. They don't answer to the BPUs necessarily. And the only one who can really influence FERC, it's almost like the Federal Reserve, would be the President of the United States and his administration. They've said and did nothing. So we have to understand we have different types of companies that produce electricity. Some use natural gas, some use coal, some use nuclear energy. Then we have the high power line transmitting companies. So what PJM is saying is that their power lines cannot handle more power plants that produce electricity. They need to be upgraded, but they're not going to pay for an upgrade. Just think of that. We can have more energy producers, but we're not going to let them connect to us because we need to upgrade the power lines, but they won't do it. But what they say is, we'll do it if you pay for it. So this is private corporations, private investors who are saying, we're not going to do anything, but if you want it done, you pay for it. And by the way, if you give us $1, you got to give us $1.09 because we want to make an extra profit on the dollar that you gave us. They're charging us to give them money. I kid you not. So in the meantime, when nothing's getting done, the power producers that are left are just the fossil fuel companies, the dirty fuel companies producing energy. It's coal, oil, natural gas. Who wants to produce electricity? Hundreds of more companies want to produce that are ready to produce. You have wind turbine, we have nuclear, and we have solar panel electricity producing companies. They're waiting. They have their investors, they have the technology, they have everything they need except for the approval, and they're not given the approval. Out of all the companies that are waiting to connect to our grid with clean, renewable electricity, 2/3 of them are renewable energy companies. But PSE&G says they can't handle the grid. The PJM says the grid can't handle them. Everyone gives every excuse in the world why the renewable energy companies, who could fill the gaps of our needs, they won't let them connect, and they won't upgrade the system unless you give them the money to upgrade it plus 9%. This is ridiculous. So in the meantime, what they do is every year they hold an auction amongst themselves in a locked room where everybody in that room signs a non-disclosure agreement that they're not allowed to discuss the details of this other than the outcome. And they say, okay, which one of you is the lowest? And we'll go with you. So they say. Maybe they say, which one of you is the highest, and we'll go with you. Nobody knows. We're not allowed in that private auction. This is how corrupt the system is. So what they are now telling us publicly is they have a supply and demand equation. So it's not the measurement of demand, it's the measurement of their anticipated demand in the future. It may be realized, or it may not be realized, what they anticipate in their fortune-telling sense. They're saying, okay, well, Virginia, Delaware, New Jersey, you're going to get a lot of data centers because you're just far enough away from New York. You got the bandwidth, you got the highways. They're going to come here. That's going to increase our demand by 30%. And by the principle of supply and demand, we have to raise your rates. They're raising our rates based upon a theory and doing nothing for it other than paying out the dividends to the investors and the oligarchs and the administration and the politicians. That's how corrupt it is. And some of these really fossil fuel producing electricity companies don't even produce. They're just there as backups, as in case there's a demand over the normal. And then they get paid even more for producing electricity if they're asked to turn on. This is crazy when we could all utilize renewable energy. Now, you see the rate. So I think we have some influence over our local distributors and retailers like PSE&G, right? But there's a limit because they're buying their electricity from the companies who are transmitting it to them. They're getting their electricity from the producers. So it's a shell game. So you're going to see these rate increases. This year is a big one, but you're going to see some increase every year. I'm going to bring it to your attention. There's one way you can protect yourself, and it doesn't even cost you any money, is put solar panels on your house. If you have a house, put solar panels on, because then you're producing your own electricity, and these rate increases become irrelevant. If you don't, so you could buy the system with your own money. That'll cost $40,000. You can lease it, no money out of your pocket. That's really good. Or you can go, subscribe to what's called, I think it's called a community solar, where some other company has a farm of solar panels somewhere in the area, doesn't matter where, and you say, you know what, I want to join your club, and you basically buy the electricity indirectly from them that they're producing, and then your rate is a known increase over time. That gets you the smallest benefit. Then leasing and then buying gives you the best return on your effort. But I think you can actually do number 2 and 3 also. You can join the community solar and have solar panels on your roof. You could do both, because when you have solar panels on your roof, first thing, your rate stops. It will never increase beyond what you're contracted for next, 20 years contract. 20 years, I think it's 2.9% is typical. That's great. It's a lot better than 20, and with no money out of your pocket. So I'm encouraging you to do that. If you don't want to do that, then just sign up online for community solar, or do both, and you don't have to worry about this. But so if you're a renter, that's really, community solar is a really good option, because you can't put solar panels on your apartment complex, but you can sign up nonetheless and get the benefit of solar panels, and it's wonderful. So tonight we have Mr. Giuseppe Grillo. Buonasera. Be chatty. Mr. Grillo is here from the Board of Public Utilities in New Jersey. They are a regulatory agency that oversees our utilities in New Jersey. Electricity is one of our utilities. And they've been feverishly trying to address the rise in electricity costs. And he's going to go into details of what he's doing for New Jersey. You should just know, New Jersey's not alone in this. There's 13 states plus Washington, D.C. are included in this. They're all victims. There is a multi-state lawsuit against PJM that was instituted by the state of Pennsylvania. We did join it to go after these thieves. But the second thing that is really, really bothering me is that the federal government, the federal representatives, the President of the United States, and the Federal Energy Regulatory Commission have said and done nothing even to date. And it also kind of worries me that if you listen to the gubernatorial debates, you're not going to get that whole picture that I just gave you tonight. And I'm curious of why they're not pointing these facts out, because this is the whole picture, and you're going to become somewhat of an expert tonight once you're done listening to Mr. Grillo. So on that, I'd like to invite Mr. Grillo up and bring your attention to him and his presentation on the monitors. Thank you, everybody.
Thanks so much. Same way. Appreciate it. Hi, everyone. How are you? Good, good. So let's see if the PowerPoint works okay. I have the Wizard of Oz in the back that is going to change the slides as I say next slide. So, well, first of all, I want to thank the Township of North Brunswick, the council people that are here, Assemblyman Danielson for inviting me to come and speak on behalf of the New Jersey Board of Public Utilities. I've been the ombudsman there for about 2 years now, and I've seen everything come to my office. Everything from, saving birds from a bird market that had no electricity in the dead of summer, and they needed to get saved, all the way up to, your street lights that need to get, that may be off and that need to get the bulbs replaced. One of the biggest things that we've been dealing with, both as a regulatory agency, but even just as residents of New Jersey, are these rising utility bills. And you hear a lot that's going on. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to talk very quickly about who we are as the BPU, talk a little bit about PJM, although the Assemblyman's already been pretty good at explaining that. I'll go into a little bit of detail about that. And bottom line is the board doesn't regulate PJM. It is a 13 state plus Washington, D.C. conglomerate that is regulated by the Federal Energy Regulatory Commission. And then I will go into kind of where the increases are coming from and what we can do about it and what we have done so far to help. And a spoiler alert, community solar, community solar, community solar, I can't say it enough, for renters, for homeowners, for low-income folks, for folks who have kind of wonky roofs. Community solar is, look, I just moved from my condo where I had community solar because I couldn't put solar panels up on there to a single family home. And in the run up to possibly getting solar panels in the future, I signed up for community solar. All it takes is your electric bill, your ID, And it takes about as long as it does to subscribe to Netflix to do community solar. So we'll go a little bit into that, as well as other programs that we have to help seniors, to help disabled folks, to help low and middle income folks with their bills, especially if they've kind of gotten behind on them a little bit. So next slide, please. Oh, great. It worked. So New Jersey Board of Public Utilities. So we are a state regulatory agency. Our mission is to ensure that safe and adequate and proper utility services are provided at reasonable, non-discriminatory rates to all members of the public, that's all ratepayers, and also to develop and regulate competitive and economically cost-effective energy policy that promotes responsible growth as well as clean, renewable energy while maintaining a high quality of life in New Jersey. And to that, I will say that for the first time in the BPU's history, we've cracked the top 10 of energy efficient states in the country. We're number 8. We were in the 20s, we were in the teens for a while, and just this year, due to the policies of this administration and what we've been doing at the BPU, we've reached number 8. So we're doing a lot of work, and it's starting to pay off. Next slide, please. So PJM, the famous PJM that you hear about. So New Jersey is part of this regional transmission operator called PJM, Pennsylvania, Jersey, Maryland, and it includes a lot more than just Pennsylvania, Jersey, Maryland. It is, like I said, a 13-state energy market, including DC, and it basically takes up most of the corridor and everything between the Jersey Shore to Illinois and Ohio. Next slide, please. And our electric distribution companies, we have Atlantic City Electric in the south. We have PSEG that goes all the way from Hudson County down to Camden County, and you have Jersey Central Power and Light that takes up the northwest region and down in the Jersey Shore area. Next slide. So, your electric bill. This is kind of the crux of what both the Assemblyman and I are talking about. And what I wanted to do is just get some numbers up real quick. So, a little bit about both your electric bill, but also kind of going back to PJM itself. So what PJM does is the regional transmission operator is meant to streamline transmission. It's not meant to be this big monolith, but it has turned into that. But it's meant to streamline transmission and to share resources at what used to be competitive prices. And this includes both the generation of electricity, whether that be burning fossil fuels like coal and gas, but also solar and wind energy and some of the next generation energy sources. And the very large transmission lines that you see on the side of the highway, that's all PJM. That's the actual hardware. And PJM is also responsible for overseeing the generation and transmission of that electricity. So what the board does is what it does regulate is not PJM, but the delivery of that energy to your homes, which come from the 4 investor-owned utilities. So the delivery charge is regulated by the board, and the supply charge is a pass-through cost from PJM and is all paid back to PJM. The utilities themselves, even though, look, when I get my electric bill, I'm like, darn you, electric company. The increases aren't from that end of it. It's not from the delivery end of the energy. So the utilities don't make any money off the cost of the supply. that's important to kind of distinguish, because what's driving this is the fact that the supply is becoming more and more, I don't want to say scarce, but it's being taken up by what Assemblyman Danielson mentioned before, which are these massive data centers, and especially artificial intelligence data centers. And the crazy thing is, it's not even data centers in New Jersey that are causing the largest kind of energy suck. They're in Northern Virginia. And in fact, about 85% of the data that's on the internet passes through Northern Virginia data centers at this point, globally. It is a big, booming business, and it's something that is going to continue to increase in terms of the need, especially as AI becomes more and more mainstream and commonplace. I always, tell my daughter, look, you could use AI smartly, but just like anything else, like, don't overuse it, So you got to write an email, write the email. Don't have AI write your email for you. But those cost increases came into effect on June 1st. And it's the way it went up was essentially the electric companies are informed by the pricing that's driven by PJM. And the cost went up nearly tenfold in PJM's auction last year. That's the closed door auction that Assemblyman Danielson had spoken about. And so, yes, it is kind of an obscure thing that we have no control over as a state, as a regulatory agency. The only thing that we could do is once they report to us, we accept the report, and that's about it. But once once PJM is the kind of sets the price, that's kind of the end game right there. But in terms of the delivery, next slide, please. The delivery is essentially just the charge of delivering the energy to your home. And when you see your PSEG bill, you'll see that's the increase that we all saw this summer was an increase in the actual cost of energy, or the supply portion of your bill. So you'll see, like, the delivery portion of your bill, that remains fairly static, not necessarily static, but fairly around the same area. Whereas the supply part, that's the part that if you compare it to, like, let's say your bill from September of last year, you'll see a massive increase. And when I say massive, we're talking about 20%, which is a lot. I mean, I don't know about you, but I could use that money for something else. Next slide, please. So what have we done to mitigate this? So the BPU has initiated 3 bill relief efforts this summer to help reduce the financial shock to the ratepayers. 2 $30 bill deferments in July and August when we use the most energy to help offset the increase in the cost of energy. And it's a bill deferment, so it gets back in smaller $10 increments from September to February. And then there's also REAP, which is the Residential Energy Assistance Payment, which is for qualifying ratepayers, low to middle income. And those were $25 discounts on your bill. And the residential, and it was 2 $50 credits applied directly to your bill, and you all should have seen this credit on last month's bill, and see this credit for the bill you'll receive this month as well. Next slide. Okay, so those kind of little discounts here and there help a bit, but what about folks who are already behind on their bills and need some serious immediate attention? I was telling the 2 young ladies here how I just helped someone today with, she got her electricity cut off. She lived in Keensburg. She had a whole house full of groceries, and she had just gone to her electric company to sign up for the various programs, but just in the middle of them still processing her application, her electricity got shut off. So one of the great things about having an ombudsman's office is that you could call us, and if we need to kind of shake the trees a bit and light a fire under the billing folks over at the electric and gas companies, we're here to help. And we were able to get her lights back on by this afternoon, so that was great. But in the meantime, the assistance programs that the woman had applied for, some of them are available to most ratepayers. One is the Universal Service Fund, which just kicked off again in the beginning of October. It provides monthly credits of up to $200 per month to reduce energy costs for low-income households. And eligibility is based on your income being below 400% of the federal poverty level. But there's also the Fresh Start program, which forgives past due balances for USF customers who make regular payments. So you sign up for USF, but then you also get other assistance programs that are kind of within the USF umbrella. It wipes away debt after 12 months of timely payments, and you'll see the 800 number to call. It's 1-800-510-3102. You can find me afterwards, and I can get you some more information on that as well. LIHEAP we spoke about. It helps with heating costs during the winter months as well. The applications are accepted from October through June annually, and you can apply online at DCA, and I believe DCA might have some information on that at the table outside. And then one that is super important is the winter termination program, and that prevents utilities from shutting off your electric or gas from November to March for eligible customers. And it's meant to protect vulnerable households during those cold months. And so with the winter termination program, you could call your utility company directly and ask for WTP protection. Next slide, please. Okay. Then we also have the PAGE, Payment Assistance for Gas and Electric. So this provides grants for overdue utility bills for low and moderate income households. If you are income eligible for USF and the LIHEAP, you must apply for those programs before you can seek assistance from PAGE. So again, where one program leads to all these other programs that are helpful. And then the Lifeline Utility Assistance Program, that helps income-eligible senior citizens and disabled folks with their utility bills. And all of these you could find, obviously you could Google, but you could also go to the BPU website and look up these various programs. Next slide, please. Okay, so this is why it's highlighted. Other opportunities for savings. And some are like common sense stuff that your mom and dad told you about when you were a kid. And others are brand new programs that are making a big impact in New Jersey. And that's the community solar program. So I'll start with that. Essentially, the way it works is there's no installation, there's no panels that are installed. You're subscribing to a solar field that is, like Assemblyman Danielson said, is somewhere else. It's within the service territory of PSEG. I can tell you that I'm a JCP&L customer, and I live in Freehold now, but I subscribe to a community solar operation project that is out in Burlington County. So you don't see it, there's no wires, there's no installation. You sign up for it online, and no fuss, no muss. Since I signed up for community solar, my electric bill was reduced by 18%. So in lieu of installing solar panels, or if you're a renter, or if you can't afford to do solar panels or you don't have the right roof, community solar is making a big impact statewide. And solar credits applied, you'll see the solar credits applied to your existing utility bill. The other great thing about community solar is you don't get a bill from another company. It's still PSEG. So you'll see it right on your PSEG bill, the solar credits that bring down your electric costs. Very easy to find a project near you that is still taking on people. You go to our website at bpu.gov and you go to the Community Solar Project Finder. In terms of assistance programs, so the state of New Jersey, through the Murphy administration, has allocated $430 million just this year in energy assistance programs, which I showed before. You've got the Lifeline program. As the BPU, we've also held utility assistance days throughout the state, where folks have come, hundreds have come to with their bills to seek help for their rising utility costs. Our next one is going to be October 28th in Asbury Park, and we have one November 10th in Jersey City, and I just scheduled one December 4th in Plainfield City. So we're going to continue to have these utility assistance days and try to help as many residents as possible with them. And then finally, in terms of any questions that you might have, you can call our customer assistance team. I can now say that they're an award-winning customer assistance team. They just won some fancy award for having like one of the best customer assistance teams of the state agencies throughout the state. And you could call the customer assistance team at 800-624-0241 for more information on any of the programs that I spoke about. But also just call them up and say, what can I do? What can I do to reduce my bill? And they'll ask you some questions, and they'll set you on the right path. Next slide, please. So the Universal Service Fund, I wanted to mention this because it just came on again, and it's basically their eligibility criteria just was updated a bit, and the minimum benefit increased from $5 to $20 a month, and the maximum benefit increased from $180 to $200 a month. So you could get as much as $200 a month in help for your bills. Next slide, please. Okay, and this is what I meant by I said stuff that your mom and dad taught you, right? So the easiest and fastest way to reduce your electricity bill, besides community solar, is make sure that you turn your AC up a degree or two, you lower your blinds, you make sure that you turn your, before you leave the house, I always go run around and yell at my daughter for leaving all the lights on, turn all the lights off, we're not the electric company, all that good stuff. And continue to look and see about all the different energy efficiency opportunities through the New Jersey Clean Energy Program. And that includes income qualifying Comfort Partners program, which has served over 127,000 households with free upgrades. And we have actually TRC is here that could talk to you about the Clean Energy Program a bit more. He's got a whole bunch of literature. You also have DCA and Human Services as well with other literature. And then again, I can't stress enough, apply for community solar tonight when you get home. That's the other good thing. They never close. So you could just go on and apply in your jammies at 2 a.m. Next slide, please. You can follow us we're on all the major social media stuff except for TikTok, NJ Board of Public Utilities, and on Facebook, NJBPU, on LinkedIn, NJBPU, and on X, NJBPU as well. Next slide. And finally, when all is said and done, if you have any remaining questions, if you like me, if you don't like me, you could call my office. And those are my two emails, ombudsman@bpu.nj.gov and joe.grillo@bpu.nj.gov. Or you can even call my cell, 908-406-1901. Much to my wife's dismay, I always answer my cell phone. I'm a nerd like that. And if you have any questions, I'll take them now. But other than that, thank you so much for listening.
I just have one question.
Sure.
So is there any, like, I know with the new administration, with the government, the president, are there any other incentives? Because I know they're cutting everything.
Yeah, well, we had a bit of a, it was a little tough there for a while because LIHEAP is funded in part by, well, not in part by a significant portion is funded by federal funds. And we were able to save some of that because of the need for that. A lot of it has to do with kind of the energy policy stuff, right? So, you could say what you want about offshore wind, like it or not. There was projects ready to be done on that, and we've seen what happened at the federal level with all of that. And also, just so folks are aware, when the Assemblyman and I were talking about PJM and how they're kind of holding up all these different projects, there's about 95 clean air, clean energy projects, shovel-ready, ready to go for New Jersey that are being held up at the federal level right now. That could significantly reduce your energy bills, not by 15 or 20%, but into the 40, 50%. And they're being held up right now. It's bottlenecked, and you can make your own guesses as to why and how, but it's definitely a problem that these clean energy projects that also mean jobs for the state of New Jersey are being bottlenecked and held up at the PJM level.
And how does that affect, people tonight, so just myself, which I'm.
Well,
how does that affect?
It affects.
All these projects are all on hold and everything's.
Yeah, it affects you from your utility bills. Yeah. It basically, as data centers, as the inevitable artificial intelligence that's being used, and in the data centers as well, as the demand for that increases. Energy is going to be more scarce. At this point, it's about a quarter of all of our energy goes to data centers and AI, which, 5 years ago, it was barely a blip. So that's one of the things that we're really advocating for and trying to do what we can to work with the federal government on.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Well, it's not that they get priority, it's just that they just consume so much energy. That's just how it is. But that's why there's sound legislation that's coming through that Assemblyman Danielson has also, you're the prime sponsor or co-sponsor? You're prime sponsor, right? Of making sure that if you have a data center, you've got to create your own renewable energy. So that way it takes the burden off of the PJM market. Yes, sir.
A quick question. I know most of your programs have age or income requirements, but for the community solar, does that have an income?
None.
Okay.
None whatsoever. And also, I got a question the other day. What if I don't like it and I want to terminate it? There's no early termination fee. It is as convenient as you can get.
Okay. Thank you.
Yep.
Hey, can you talk a little bit more about the community solar?
Sure.
When you sign up, are there like sign up fees? Is there like a set credit that you're getting each month, or
Nope.
does it depend on the energy?
Well, it's based on usage, but when I was actually going to hold off on doing it for my we just moved, like I said, for my new house. I was actually going to do it as I was talking to you, but it's literally my presentation took longer than it took me to sign up for it. It's you go onto and the link is a little kind of arduous and long, but if you go to the BPU's website, and even if you Google Community Solar, New Jersey Board of Public Utilities, it'll be one of the first kind of things that you could click on. You go there, click through, and you'll get to a screen where it's a community solar project finder, and those are all the community solar projects that are still taking on customers, right? And so I signed up for one that is in Burlington County. Like I said, it's owned by a company called Perch. They ask for your electric bill account number, your customer number on your electric bill, and they just need to know, verify who you are. You put all that in, they send you a nice thank you email. We'll let you know when, you're approved. I got approved in 3 hours. My mom and dad, I did it for them. They got approved in a day. So it's not a credit check or anything like that. There's no prerequisites whatsoever. The other thing that the state of New Jersey did was 51% of community solar is reserved for low to middle income residents. So and renters as well. So it's targeted specifically to folks that either can't afford solar panels or don't have the capacity or the infrastructure to have solar panels.
Thank you.
Not sure. Yeah, not sure about that. You may have to show some sort of lease agreement, but I'm not positive.
Okay. Yeah, I'm asking because I just got an apartment, but I don't actually have like a rent
cool.
lease. But
Yeah.
so
yeah.
my uncle owns the place, so that's why. But
Yeah, no, and here's the thing. When you click on, like I said, there's a community solar project finder, whether it's East Windsor Solar Incorporated or Perch Energy or whichever ones that shows on the list there. Not only does it show you the name of the project, but also how much your discount will be. So some have 15%, some say 20%, so you get a clear comparison of which one you want to choose. I think there are some slight variations in terms of the application, but again, nothing that requires,
because I have PSC&G. I'm in Raritan Borough in Somerset County, and I know Solar Landscapes, I think, has a project that's certain there. So I was just, but I wasn't sure if this was like similar to third-party billing, but this sounds a little more.
They're the
Not like that.
yeah, they're a solar energy developer.
Okay.
So actually, they're the largest in the state, but there's tons of different solar developers out there. Yeah.
Is there a fee that you have to pay
No.
when you sign up or anything
Nope.
like that? Okay.
No fee.
How great it is.
Yeah.
Any senior discount anywhere?
What's that?
Any senior discount?
I don't think there's an added senior discount, but look, any discount is good. So yeah. My parents, they got a nice single family home. They just don't like the way solar panels look on their house. So, this was a nice thing for them because they're like, they want to be energy efficient. They want to save some money on their electricity. So community solar works really well for them too. All right. Thanks, everybody.
Well, I just want to close out the evening. I want to thank the mayor and the nice council people here for hosting this. Again, we did this for the community to help you avoid the electric rate increases. So as we're doing everything we can to fight PJM, remember, if you have the option, put solar panels on your house. Either buy the system, lease it, and whatever you do, join a community solar program. Outside that, if my office or Assemblyman Kevin Egan's office can be of any help, you need anything, remember, we are always at your service. Have a good night, everybody.
Yeah, we just want to say thank you to Assemblyman Joe and Joe. We just want to thank them for coming out and providing the information, so. And you have contact information if you need anything there, and then you can also contact the mayor and council's office if you have anything else. But thank you.